Good evening. This evening I'm going to cover a fun topic, PyQt5 tip for debugging. Some fun with code debugging. Alright. In my walks with PyQt, I seem to come across quite a few fun what I call challenges or difficulties. And one of them is a perfect example. I've asked somebody to send me some files, and they've sent me some files. Okay, so they've got their designer and they're calling file exactly the same file name. All right, so I'm gonna go into my folder. I'm gonna go to INF. So it's called V. Okay, so now you've got a VUI and you've got a VPY. Okay, so open up our designer. Alright. From here we can choose open, since we have a code there, VUI, open. Okay, this is a perfect example. This code has been sort of copied from one of my previous videos. Okay, there's lots of different things here. First of all, the easy notification is all these object names. Label is when you just drag labels to the screen, they give it the title of label 2, 3, 4. Okay, and the same with the line edits and that. The dialog, he's renamed his dialog to a lowercase d. What I'll do is I'll show you. I click on File, New, and I say I want a dialog without buttons. Okay, you see how dialog displays over here with a capital D. In coding, that will mean that there will be an instant problem. Okay, because this capital D matters. Okay, and so his code, he's asking me why doesn't his code run. This is the first issue, is the dialog. Okay, the other issue is I'm going to open up my Python idle. Okay, so I've got my screen over here. I click on File, I go to Open. Okay, and I open this code. Alright, great, I've got this code. Now look at it. It's trying to import V when it is called V itself. So this is definitely a first bug problem that you'll ever encounter in your life. Okay, I'm going to go File, I'm going to go Save As. I'm going to say I want to call file V. Okay, now that becomes my calling file. Okay, and now I need to still convert my other file to a Python file so Python can read it. So go and run as administrator, say yes, go to change directory, change to UNISA INF2611, and then I'm going to go to directory. You can see there I've got one folder, 3 files. Okay, so I'm going to run my PyURC5. I'm going to say VUI -O, and I'm going to call mine urv.py so that it's totally different. Okay, alright, so now I've got this file. As I've mentioned in one of the previous videos, this is what it's importing. You want it to import from the graphical file. So let me show you what the graphical file looks like, or the UR file. So click on Open over here. Alright, and there we go. You see how they two totally separate files. Now why I like to have both files opened is because I can see the object names already here. Either I can copy them from here, or I can go back to my designer and I can click on one of them and I can say, oh, I want to copy this thing. So how I managed to find out was that this dialog was incorrect was that I ran the -x to convert it, and you'll see self dialog is here and UI dialog is here. Okay, so this is how it should be represented. And what he's done is he's seen my code and he said, well, why can't I just copy his code? That's what his code says. Well, if you go and rename the dialog, the code's not going to work. So first of all, I'm going to change this to UI_v, okay, so that it calls this file with all its objects that are on here, all its widgets, okay. Then I'm going to change this UI dialog over here to this UI dialog, okay. Paste that. We've got set up UI self, so we're happy with that, okay. Then you're going to see it's going to moan at me and it's going to say, hey, there's no such widget called LBL current date. Where do you think, how can I set this LBL current date when you don't have any object on it? There's no object name here, LBL date. Okay, so let's just run it so you can see, because this is what I wanted to show you, is how to debug it. So we have to save the file, so we say yes, and there we go. Automatically it comes up and it says UI dialog, object has no attribute, LBL current date. So that's this code, okay. So now I hash this line out, and guess what? I scroll down a few lines and I instantly notice this comma in place of a dot. That's also going to give me a code, an error code. So let's go and try and run that. There we go. You see? Object, no attribute for calendar widget. Okay. So, yeah, even calendar widgets it's complaining about. Calendar widget here. I don't know how it even got that far when it should be moaning here at me for this. Okay, so the next problem I could pick up is we've got a date edit that was called date edit select date. If I go to that form, there's no date edit over here. And also if I look at these objects here, there's no date edit. So this code is completely useless. We might as well hash it out. Let's see what comes up next. Yeah, still calendar widget, which is obviously from here. Calendar widget. We do have a calendar widget, so I don't know why it doesn't want to accept it. Yeah, I'm assuming that this is actually the main cause, is this UI button. Nope, still moaning about a calendar widget. So this is exactly what happens when you want to just copy code from the internet. You won't get it. So if I go and change this back to what it was previously, let's just try and run it and see what does it come up with. You can see there, name error, UI dialog is not defined. But if I just go to this form here and I decide, okay, I'm going to change it, although I wouldn't recommend it because as I've mentioned previously, it'll override it when I do a conversion. Okay, but I can still do it for now. File, save, run. I should get back to this calendar widget error. Yeah, calendar widget, you see? So this is one of the reasons why I would highly recommend that you listen to the whole video, not try and just copy the end bits with the code in it, because you've got to understand what are you actually adding, why is it being added, how is it being added. yeah, so calendar widget, I don't even know. I'm just gonna I'll just hash the whole thing out. But yeah, the other thing that I've noticed is like people are always asking, why does my system crash? Yeah, so if I go and I name this as calendar widget 1, okay, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna change this dialog back to the one that it should be. Okay, I'm going to save this form and I'm going to close these files down because I'm happy with my calling code. Let's go back here. I'm going to just do the conversion. Okay, going to file, open. I want to open my UI file, which is this. As you can see, it's changed it over here. I also want to go file, open, and I want to use my calling file. Go here. Alright, let's see what it says. Whether it's happy to run or whether it's still... No, it's still moaning about calendar widget. UI has no attribute of calendar widget. But there is a calendar widget, man. I've named it calendar widget 1. Should I change my name? Let's see what happens if I call it. Okay, here we go. This self birth date. I think that's what it's complaining about since we hashed that out. Okay, there. Alright, so I'm going to run this because I'm interested to see, will it crash? Because it should actually crash. There's no button show. Okay, so it doesn't even want to do that button show because there is no button. So what is he connected to show age? There, yeah, button. Okay, so it just hasn't got a button on it. Button. There, it's called push button, not button show age. Okay, let's go here. Run. Yes, we're happy to save. Here we go, man. Show age. And you should see it'll say it'll restart. And this form should automatically close, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there we go. Python stopped working. Restart of shell. Do you know why that is? It's just because this is missing a 1 on it. Can you believe it? Eh? Just one simple 1 has such an effect on the program. But yes, that is it. No? It's going to moan at me about something else. Yep, there we go. Still crashing. Now, may as well just take most of this code out until I can figure out what has he got, what hasn't he got. Because of this definition, what I'll do is I'll leave the top part in, because this is how I do debugging. Print and birthday, so I can see, is it getting up to this part? And then over here I'll go print and age in years. Alright, and then let's see how far we get. Okay, I've selected a date, show age. Do we get anywhere? Yes, no, no. So no printouts came, so it means we haven't even got here. Maybe at the button we can even just say print this is the code from the button. Okay, let's see how that works. There we go. this is the code from the button. Hey, great, man. So there's something even wrong in this code. So let's go back. I just want to copy this calendar widget and see if the name is wrong or something. You never know. Close program. Happy to close program. Yeah. Okay, so birthday equals self UR calendar widget selected date. Okay, so it should allow me to do that, and then hopefully print the birth date. Let me go back maybe. I'll show age. No, it doesn't even want that. A variable called birth date. Something so small, but yet very easily missed. Calendar widget 1 doesn't have a property called select date. It is selected date. But this is what I mean by making it's such a slight difference, but it is very important in code. So I've got the first button show. Oh, look there, I've printed the third line, and the only thing that it's missing is it's not showing me the actual label. But I've got 3 lines as opposed to 1 line. Alright, so I hope this just shows you some debugging things that will help you while you're learning this INF2611 module. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it's been helpful and informative. Enjoy your module. Goodbye.